All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, November 16th. We just have two NBA games on today's slate, but nonetheless, we're going to dive into each one of these games. I'm going to give you my lean on the spread. I'll give you my lean on the total, but as always, my final play, so what I'm actually rolling with myself, those plays will be in the pinned comment. Last night, we did have a sweep, so you know what? A little celebration before that, but we didn't have a 3-0 sweep. We didn't have a 4-0 sweep. We did not have a 5-0 sweep. No. We had a 6-0 sweep. Let's go. How needed was that? One more. How needed was that 6-0? Cha-ching. We had the board figured out yesterday. Mavs -4, they cover. The Celtics -3.5 and the over in that game. Even with some late injury news, they cover and the game goes slightly over. We had the Bulls and the Magic under. The Kings money line for even odds. And then our same game parlay in the Mavs and Wizards game. One more. Cha-ching. How much do we need a 6-0 sweep for the vibes, right? And I kind of called the shot yesterday. I was like, this back half of November is where we should make some bread. Yesterday was a full loaf. So shout out to the picks yesterday. Finally having a good night. We do have to let the fun end to some degree, but before we get to the bad news, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, guys. Let's celebrate today. Go ahead and hit that celebration like button, I guess we can call it. But yeah, unfortunately, the ride of the day was a good call. But the show takes a turn for the worse here. Medfire had Jalen Suggs over 19.5 PRA. It was a messy game. It was a low-scoring game. Both teams in the 90s. I think he finished at 17 PRA if I'm not mistaken. So right there, and it was a good call, looking into the defense and everything like that. So shout out to Medflyer for the attempt at the ride of the day, but we did have to drop the womp womp. If you guys do want to be the ride of the day, all you got to use is hashtag ride of the day in the comments. I'm jumping on board with one person's pick and giving you a shout out in the next video, win or loss. Medflyer, I wish we were celebrating today together, but at least we had a good showing as a unit, right? As a community. So shout out to you for the ride of the day. But again, guys, just use hashtag ride of the day if you do want to have a chance to be shouted out in tomorrow's video. Now let's go ahead and jump into the slate. Again, it's just a couple games here. We're starting it off with Miami taking on the Brooklyn Nets. This one's in a weird spot because I almost feel like Brooklyn, should be getting like 5 points, which I know it sounds like I'm splitting hairs, but that was sort of the distinguishing factor here that kind of kept me from being all in on Brooklyn. My lean is Brooklyn. I do think that they can even win this game outright, but I think I worry about their scoring, obviously with no Cam Thomas. I believe he is still out. Ankle sprain there, and Ben Simmons is questionable here. Tyler Hero's out for the Heat, so there's your injury news there. But yeah, I'm gonna lean towards Brooklyn, but I really wish that they were getting 5 points because I could totally see this being like a I guess we could call it 210 to 205 type of a game and keeping it close. But again, splitting hairs. It's just 1 point. I shouldn't get too much in my head about it, right? Give me Brooklyn plus the points. I think that they do still have a fairly good offense. Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, they can do their thing, and they're going up against pretty much Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo in terms of the top two on the other team. I like this spot. And also Brooklyn, even with Cam Thomas being out, still looks like their offense is flowing. Now, they're not going to go and drop, 130, 120 as often, but they scored 124 against a good Orlando defense just a couple nights back. So I'm trusting that their offense can kind of keep up the pace they've been playing with, because this Miami team does not like to play with pace. The games that they've lost have been games in which teams go out there and score a bunch against them. And it's worth mentioning, Miami's won six straight games, right? At some point, I feel like they may have to drop one here, and you're looking at a spot in which they went on fire during a road trip, right? And now they're home for one game, and then they go on another road trip. Like, it seems like such a losable game to them, and we're getting 4 points. So again, I wish it was 5. The model needs 5 in terms of confidence in Brooklyn, but we're putting our gut in check in this one too. Give me Brooklyn here plus the points. Total sitting at 217. I think it's a pretty sharp line. I would lean towards the under just ever so slightly because, again, I could see like a 215-ish game, but I don't know if I have the confidence that I would need to make this final play to make it go under, because Brooklyn does play with pace here. This is a team that's cashed more unders on the year than they have overs. They've hit 6 of 11 games towards the over, and when they are on the road, their field goal percentage goes up, their pace drops a little bit, but they're a little bit more of an efficient offense, and they shoot more threes. So definitely a spot there in which make makes the over possible, but I still think that this is a slower paced game today, ever so slightly. So give me Brooklyn as well as a slight lean on the under. And before we get to the second half of the slate, why don't you guys go ahead and check out FadeMe.store. Celebrate our win last night here. Use code FADE15 to get 15% off anything out there. We do have the new holiday collection, obviously. We also launched some new hoodies and whatnot. The tie-dye collection just launched. Really cool stuff on the store as of right now. Tons of new t-shirts, tons of new hoodies. Guys, if you do want to support what we're doing here and get some great merch at the same time, go ahead and check out FadeMe.store. That link is going to be in the pinned comment, so make sure to go check that out. But let's jump into this game here. Now, this is a weird one because Golden State, I don't know what's going on with them. Obviously, they are dealing with injuries. So Steph Curry is ruled out. Draymond Green is suspended for, I think, 5 games. Klay Thompson gets ejected in that game as well, from the fight in the Minnesota game, right? It's kind of like, what's going on here? And this Golden State team, never mind all that, has lost 4 straight games. Now, the competition has been hard. I'll give them a break there. You know, Denver, Cleveland played well against them. Then they played Minnesota twice. Like, hard competition through that little stretch. And they are at home here. And I think they're at home for another couple days, playing, if I'm not mistaken, 2 games against the Thunder here, at Golden State. But I think the Thunder are just in maybe a better spot overall. They've won 2 games in a row here. In their last 5, they've won 4. Again, Golden State with the crap that's going on with Draymond, Steph's hurt, Klay getting into a fight, and just losing a bunch of games in a row. I don't necessarily have the confidence that everyone's all locked in and focused, right? Now, their offense is also not where it has been in years past. This is an offense that's bottom 5 in the league in terms of field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, bottom 8 in the league. And then when it comes to points per game, they're right in the middle of the pack, which isn't really like the Warriors. And you have a Thunder defense that I've kind of ragged on all year, but this Thunder defense has kind of started to pick it up. In the recent and through their recent games, they've actually landed themselves in the top 10 for points against when it comes to the defensive side of things, which is a little shocking to me because I don't believe that this is a long-term good defense, but numbers are numbers. Right now in the league, 3rd best team field goal percentage against, 7th best team 3-point percentage against. Like, maybe they're clicking. So give me the Thunder here minus the 3 points. I like them in the spot. Again, they have more momentum behind them, where the Warriors seem like they're fighting an uphill battle as of right now. In terms of what we're looking at for a total, 227.5. It's a decently high number, but I think this is a pretty good line to look at and over, just because of the pace that OKC plays with, and no Draymond Green on the floor for the Warriors. So OKC should be able to score a decent amount more points as well. I think I like OKC minus 3 more than I do the over, but I don't really think it's safe to go and look at an under in this spot just because of what I just said. Like, this is a Warriors defense that, yes, decent defense, losing one of their best defensive assets, right? It does hurt that Steph's not in for the over, but nonetheless, I do think that I'm talking about setting the pace and whatnot. OKC, faster team. I do think that this could be a spot for them to kind of up the octave, if you will. So give me the over 227.5 as well. Guys, keep an eye on the pinned comment for any spots that we're actually rolling with tonight. It's not going to be a day in which we throw a bunch of junk out there. In fact, it's kind of sucky that it's like we go off a sweep. I'm excited right into a slate that's like meh, right? Like Brooklyn, Miami, OKC, Golden State, like meh. So a little bummed there that we don't have a full slate in front of us to pick from. The buffet ain't all that big, but we'll still find something that we want to eat tonight. But just don't force anything, right? Like if my experience has taught me anything, I swept last night 6-0. That does not mean I'm hot. Like, yes, we had a good night, and we joke about we saw the board really well, we're hot. It doesn't mean that I can make 4 bets on this game, side and totals on each of these, and go 4-0 again, right? You got to still be smart and conservative and take what the games give you here. So keep an eye on the pinned comment for any of the final plays in this game. Guys, also follow me on TikTok at evpicks with a Z 3.0. We're posting tons of player prop content over there, over on Sleeper. And if you haven't checked out Sleeper yet, go ahead and check it out. 100% of your first deposit matched. My favorite pick'em app out there right now. That link is in the pinned comment. And I'll leave you with that, guys. Very, very excited that we got that 6-0 sweep. That makes a lot of the previous, well, I guess last week, right, not look as bad in the record-wise. So that was a big spot for us. So, yeah, love to see a couple plus money plays as well. But we'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.